All right, today we have a call that an exhaust fan is not working. Boy, look at how dirty that thing is. Wow. Talk about some grease buildup. Holy moly, and I think this is the one in question. But we'll look at them all. Let's pop the tops and have a look at the belts, see what's going on. With the exhaust fans, I mean, they have loose belts, but they were complaining that it was like extremely smoky. They're not that loose. I put some spares in there, like they have a national filter changing company that changes belts, and all the belts are bad. But everything's running. But what I notice is none of their makeup air units are running. The belts are all loose, the filters are plugged, but none of the motors are trying to do anything. Same with these two over here, which is really odd. I wonder why all their makeup air units are down. Same thing, nothing, and nothing on this one either. I pulled the belts off. So that's bizarre. So I need to go downstairs and try to figure out why none of the makeup air units are working. I'm also gonna get new belts for all the exhaust fans, but we gotta figure this out. The other issue is that these makeup air units have likely been down for a while. So you can't really just turn them on because it'll blow a bunch of dust down in the building. You don't want them to be in the middle of cooking, and it's 11 o'clock, so they're in the middle of their lunch right now. It's 11:30. So even if I get these things running, you don't want them blowing air down in the building, you know, mid-shift. According to the breaker panels, these breakers are all on. That's all 3 supply fans. Let's get up into the motor starter panels and see what's going on up there. Don't know why, but this ice cube relay was removed, and with that ice cube relay removed, this guy would not pull in. This one was tripped. This one wouldn't pull in. Or no, I had to reset. So I had to reset these two. And then this one, the ice cube relay was missing. So I don't know why. That's odd. So this motor starter right here for the one of the supply fans is actually bad. So I was able to reset one. I pushed the ice cube relay on for the other. But this one will not reset, and it has 120 volts going to the coil. So we've just got a bad coil on this guy. So we're gonna have to replace this motor starter. All right, this guy spins. I don't know if there's any other damage. This thing's gonna be a pain, so let's turn it on and see what happens. That's why that one was tripped. That scared me. It's a bad motor. Okay, we're good on that one. We know we're gonna need a motor. Let's go look at the other ones. That scared me. Okay. This one right here. Let's see what happens. This one runs fine. Again, I can't put a belt on it, but we know that it runs. And then this one, it won't turn on because this one doesn't have power. So this is the one that has a bad motor starter and it won't start. So we need to get the motor data plate off of here so we know how to size the motor starter. And then this one we're gonna pull apart and have a look at that motor. See why it was shorting there. This guy has bad bearings. Sounds like junk, but I've got the motor unwired, so we should be able to turn this on. 200, and then if we switch over to this one, 200 volts, and then we should be able to stay in this one and switch over to this one and confirm. So we have 200 volts, 3-phase, should be 208, it's a little bit low, but so we know 3-phase switch is working. We know we have a bad motor on this one. This fan itself is beat up, it's rusted to all heck. It's gonna need a motor, new pulleys, and then to be completely cleaned. I can almost guarantee you this customer is gonna want me to replace this whole supply fan. They don't like to fix these really old units. So, yeah, it'll need a metal mesh filter too. And this is an old Supreme fan. So I will get all the information off of it, but I pretty much guarantee you they're gonna tell me to change the whole fan. So you gotta think big here. Just because I think the customer is gonna change this and have me replace it, there's some other things too. This company doesn't make fans anymore. You have to go through Penn Berry to get their branded makeup air or supply fan. There's some other ones that you can get made, but they're bigger. And there's already limited space here. So I got all the specs. The information's right here. It's a 23-inch square curb. This is for the fry. It's a supply fan 1010, so it's a 10 by 10 wheel. What we're gonna do though is I'm gonna measure the pulleys, we're gonna get the motor information, and you know, if they wanted me to, I could repair this depending on, you know, what fits in here and what, you know, the replacement would look like, because I have a feeling the replacement's going to be much bigger, and then it's going to make it really hard for technicians to get by and access the rest of this roof, which is all right here, right? So you got to go there to get to all their roof and everything. So we got to think big here. Back to this fan, it has a pretty good vibration to it too. I don't know if it really comes across on camera. And it also sounds like there's a bearing in here going bad. Judging by the amount of grease buildup, this thing hasn't been cleaned in a long time. I'm gonna talk to the customer about this fan and see what they want to do to properly clean this thing. They'd almost have to take the whole thing apart because it's been so neglected for so long. I'm gonna get all the specs off of this fan. But what's interesting is they said that it was really smoky. I mean, it's not smoky. The belt was a little loose. I put on one of the crappy spares that was in there and it's better than it was. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. So I'm gonna talk to them and see if they wanna attempt to get this thing clean or if they wanna replace this thing. Normally I don't see their fans being this bad. I almost wonder if this place got forgotten about, this particular location. But everything else is running minus these. Now, I'm gonna have to come back for these. This one has a bad motor starter on this guy. And then this one, it'll run. But the pulleys, actually the metal mesh filter can be cleaned on this one. It's not in that bad of shape. Yeah, the pulleys are definitely bad. They're not good pulleys anymore. But, I mean, it looks like it's salvageable if the customer wanted to. It's interesting. Okay. But this one, yeah, we don't know if there's a problem. And look at all that grease. That doesn't look right. It looks like something happened in that motor. The motor tests okay electrically. There's no shorts to ground and we have resistance across the motor windings. But I'm very concerned. Look at all that grease or oil. And then same thing on this side. Look at it. It's like the seal went bad on the, right here. It's not really making a noise, but I'm very reluctant to turn this guy on. I mean, I guess we can try, but I got to change the motor starter to do so, and I can't do it right now. So we'll have to further diagnose this one in the morning. So I'm going to get the information off of it so we can put a new motor starter on it. But before we put a motor starter, I would probably just hardwire it, have someone at the breaker test it to make sure it goes, and then proceed from there. I don't know, we'll see, but I'm gonna get the motor information now. All right, it's the next day. I got here early before the restaurant and got all the belts changed out. Put belts on this fan, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a belt on this fan. Talk to the customer. We're gonna try to change the motor starter and see if it'll at least start up. We'll explore changing the unit after the fact, but we're gonna have to change a motor starter either way. So we're gonna try to start this guy. So I got a new belt on it. I still got to make sure it's wired the right phase because I disconnected it. I'm just waiting essentially for the customer to get here now. So while I'm here though, that walk-in freezer condenser is really dirty and I can hear a condenser fan motor going bad. The bearings in it are shot. So we'll bring that to their attention too. See if they'll let us change that before it becomes an emergency. But now it's just a waiting game, waiting for the customer to get here. While I'm waiting for the customer, they should be here in about 5-10 minutes. The cooks are actually already here waiting, so we're just waiting for our manager. Just try to get everything ready. I got a piece of DIN rail that I can cut. Got the motor starter components so we can assemble them. I'm gonna grab some wire because I know I'm gonna need some wire, and just kind of have everything ready so that way we can hit the ground running when the customer gets here. I got to get this unit up and running so we can fire it up before they start cooking, so that way we can make sure there's no dust blowing on their food and stuff. Management got here. I informed them I was going to turn on the Make-A-Bear units. I informed them there was potentially going to be problems. That sounds like junk. Let's get these guys. Yeah, so I made sure there was no food that was open, and we should be good on that. Now, this unit should be able to be started. That's good. Now I want to start this one, but I gotta push in the motor starter, so I'm waiting for another tech to get here so I can just bump it blow the dust out of it and get the unit running. I don't know if this unit's on or off. It's on. Whether it's blown in the right direction is the question. And it's probably dusting out the kitchen at the moment, so I'm gonna hold it in for a minute. This is the one that the motor starter's bad. 3 amps. Let's go see if we got dust in the kitchen. Doesn't seem like it blew out a lot of dust or anything. I don't see any like falling, so okay. Next question though, is it running in the right direction? That's what I gotta go find out. Okay, go ahead and bump it. It's going in the wrong direction. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me switch the phases. Okay, hold it in. Oh, I'm sorry. Now do it. Hold on, just keep holding it. All right, it's running. I'm not in love with it, but it's running now. Just keep holding it. We're trying to blow the dust out of it. What does the amp clamp say? 5? What's that? 3.3, okay, all right. Doesn't sound great, but okay, you can go ahead and turn it off. On these old motor starter panels, the power to the control transformer, which is the 115 volts for the switch, is usually off of one of these. So I shut off every piece of equipment 3-phase, and then the control transformer disengaged and all the coils shut off too. So we know that we have no power in here. I can go ahead and replace this motor starter here. All right, I've got this guy all wired up. We have voltage going to it. Let's see. We've got 3-phase coming to the top of this guy. Yep, 202. And we're gonna reset this guy and get it started. Hold on, let me turn the current up. There we go, for now. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit reset. Big Make-A-Bear unit running. All right, thank you very much. All right, I was talking to my tech that's on the roof. So we got this guy running. We need to go ahead and set the overcurrent. And yeah, so everything should be working. I'm gonna go up there and have a look at it. It's in bad shape. I have someone up there washing all the metal mesh filters too now. So, but I put a DIN rail back there so that way it's clipped in. You know, it's not beautiful in here. This thing's a dumpster fire, but at least it has a motor starter that functions now. All right, all their exhaust fans have new belts. So here's what I'm gonna suggest to them, because this one has an interesting vibration. This one kind of did too, but one of the nuts was missing off of the motor bolt right here. So I just put a new nut on there, tightened it on. It seems to still have slight vibration, but I need to get these fans clean. So I'm gonna highly recommend that the customer have an exhaust fan cleaning company come out, degrease these fans completely, clean them thoroughly, and then we'll come through and evaluate the fans and whether or not the vibration goes away or if it gets worse and that kind of stuff. We definitely are gonna talk to them about changing that Make-A-Bear unit over there that has the bad motor. This one, the motor doesn't sound good. It's got some bearing issues, and it might even have bearing issues down below. So I think I'm gonna talk him into changing this Make-A-Bear unit too. This one seems to be working okay. We'll save that one for next time. And then we're over here because I'm trying to wait for them to create a work order for the condenser fan motor that's going bad over there too. But we're currently cleaning all the condensers and the metal mesh filters. Oftentimes these calls are like this for me, where I get like a whatever the service call is. This one was that they had smoke rolling out of the hoods. Now, I never found like the drop dead reason why smoke was rolling out of the hoods. Couple things that could add to it though. The wheel for that exhaust fan is covered in grease. That can slow down the performance of that fan. The next thing, the belt was slightly loose, okay? But it still kind of blew my mind because they were saying that it was really rolling out and it was getting hard to cook. And it's like, I didn't really find that. But I did find that the Make-A-Bear units weren't working, and those Make-A-Bear units do help to create somewhat of an air curtain. Now, this particular style of exhaust hood isn't the one that blows down the front of the hood. It kind of blows back up in, so it's not as critical, but it's definitely going to make the air balance negative. But the air balance being negative in that building would actually help the smoke issues. So I don't know. You know, that's very interesting. But regardless, we just kind of look at everything, okay? With this customer not doing regular routine maintenance with me, they do have a filter changing company, but they don't do it very often. You know, we do run into these issues, but the exhaust cleaning, that is a separate company. There's companies that specialize just in exhaust cleanings. They have the proper chemicals to do so, to break down the grease, you know, to make it all the right way and kosher and all that stuff. So they need to get the exhaust cleaning company out here to clean all those exhaust fans. Then we can evaluate the vibration issues, right? So then I dove into the make repair units, found a bad motor starter, found a tripped motor starter, and a disconnected ice cube relay for some reason. Now, I don't know what the deal is with that ice cube relay and why it was removed. I was very reluctant to put it back in when the system was energized, because the first day that I was out there, it was mid-shift. It was 2, 3 in the afternoon or something like that. And, you know, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen when I push this ice cube relay back on. I just didn't want all the motor starters to start chattering and blowing up and whatever. But it didn't happen. And once I put that ice cube relay back on, boom, the one make repair unit started, you know, or the motor was energized, right? And everything was good. So I don't understand why that ice cube relay was removed. The next thing, you know, they had a tripped motor starter because of the bad motor, and then obviously a bad motor starter. So we changed the bad motor starter, got that up and running. We just have the one that has the bad motor. We're currently in the process of giving the customer a quote to see where they want to go. Would definitely give them a motor quote, and then also give them a replacement fan quote and see, you know, how they want to proceed with that. We like to, and this isn't the way that everybody has to do it, but the way that we like to do things is when we're there, we open our eyes, we open our ears, and we find other things. We look around, right? We're generating work for tomorrow. And generating is a loose term because we're not doing anything shady, nothing deceptive. I'm just up there listening, and I can see that the condenser is very dirty on the walk-in freezer, and then I can hear that a motor's going bad. That's why it's so imperative that you don't wear headphones listening to music while you're on the roof. Unless you have to wear them for safety reasons to protect your hearing and stuff like that, you really should be using all your senses, listening to all the equipment around you, so that way you can do a better service for the customer. That's the way that I like to do things. So when I'm up there, you know, I found 3 make repair units not working, all because I got called for an exhaust fan. So then I found 3 make repair units not working. I found a walk-in freezer condenser. We ended up actually changing both condenser fan motors in there because they were both going bad. We cleaned the condenser on the walk-in freezer and the walk-in cooler. So we're just always trying to be as observant as possible to give the customer the best value for the money that they're going to spend with us, right? It's just looking at the big picture. That's the biggest thing, right? Take a step back, look at the big picture, you know, and do the customer a solid, right? Do them something, or do something for them, right? You're obviously there to perform a service, but go above and beyond. You know, make yourself different from the next guy. At least that's what I try to do. And I'm not perfect, right? But I try to differentiate myself from the next company. I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, please consider going to my website, hvacrvideos.com. We have merchandise available on there. Hats, beanies, sweaters, t-shirts, all that good stuff, stickers, lots of great stuff available. Again, hvacrvideos.com. If you're looking into purchasing any new tools, I highly encourage you to check out truetech.tools.com. I get a lot of my tools from there. I have an affiliate program set up with them. If you use my offer code BIGPICTURE, one word, you'll get an 8% discount on majority of the items on their website, and I get a small commission from that. So you get a great place to have tools, get a discount, I get a commission, another great way to help support the channel. You can also support the channel via PayPal, Patreon, and YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of this video. That's just a way to make a monthly commitment. It charges your credit card the amount that you decide, and then just does it on a monthly reoccurring basis if you so do, you know, if you choose to do so, right? I'm not pressuring anybody. I really do appreciate anything. You know, the easiest way to support this channel is literally just watch the videos from beginning to end. That really is the easiest way. Again, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so very much, and we will catch you on the next one.